To discuss this further, let's bring in former United States Republican Representative Zeldin. Lee, you could hear the frustration from law enforcement there on the ground, calling this a F up. You could hear that they were saying, hey, we signaled that this guy was on the roof. Why wasn't anybody on the roof? Clearly, there was a breakdown in communication. Mr. Representative, you were once in Trump's shoes at your own campaign event where a man tried to attack you on stage. Sadly, this seems to be a recurring theme. Are you satisfied in the changes that the Secret Service has made over the last month?
No, not until we have a full accounting, full transparency publicly. And I'd still like to know who lost their job because of this. And as far as communications go, when you're showing that body cam footage of that law enforcement officer peeking above the roof and the shooter is aiming a rifle at the law enforcement officer, at that moment, the signal has to get sent successfully to the Secret Service around the stage, and President Trump is instantly being protected. Why would there be any delay from there? A massive communications breakdown. Are they on different frequencies? What happened in that moment? There are so many other issues before that police officer put his head above that roof and saw that rifle pointed at him, and that is worth the discussion. But specifically, once that is spotted right there on top of the roof, President Trump shouldn't be in danger within moments of that. It should be instantly addressed.
And we also heard Mr. Hawley, Josh Hawley, also call that same question on the floor. Who's been fired? Who has lost their job as a result of this? And there did not seem to be an answer from those who were in charge. Now, former President Trump touting his visits to the Rocky Mountain region, saying his campaign raised $28 million during his two-day trip to the area. Harris and Walz are on their own campaign tour as well, raising $36 million in just 24 hours after announcing Walz as her running mate. How can Mr. Trump keep up his momentum?
Yeah, as far as the fundraising goes, we're seeing this with the presidential race, with the race for United States Senate, for United States House. There is a lot of funding that is coming in right now to the main committees, the R-N.Y, the DCCC, the NRCC. So on both sides of the aisle, when you look at these House and Senate campaigning committees, they're raising a lot. As soon as Kamala Harris comes in, she gets money, but at the same time, President Trump is as well. Keeping up that momentum while you are having a lot of fundraisers across the country and you have a VP nominee to also be able to headline these events, you also balance it with being able to sit down for 3 Sunday morning news interviews, as we saw J.D. Vance do. President Trump did over an hour of a press conference this week. You have to balance it all, and I think we're seeing a lot of that right now from President Trump's campaign. I do believe that it's important in finding that balance, that Kamala Harris is not only doing the fundraising, which, as you're reporting, she's doing a lot of that, and doing the rallies where the speeches are being given from a teleprompter. But I think the time has come for the vice president and for Tim Walz to sit down for those tough interviews, to stand for those tough press conferences and give that level of answers that the American public need on the issues that might not be on your terms to be talking about, but the media will be asking, hopefully, on behalf of the American public.
Yeah, and in fact, Mr. Zeldin, I'm not sure that we have a clear policy position from Vice President Harris on where she stands with the conflict between Israel. And she said things that makes it sound as though she understands the plight of the Palestinian people, but she hasn't made it clear on what her policy is in dealing with Israel, nor has she really broken down for us what her policy is on the border and the mass immigration issue that we have there.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.